So a few days ago, I introduced you to this chainsaw. It's a 22-year-old chainsaw with very few hours on it. One of the problems this thing keeps running into is, since it sits so much, the gas lines degrade and they just fall apart. This is the second time I've changed the gas lines on this chainsaw. So on the previous video, and I'll put an up next box at the end of this video to that video, I showed you how to install the hose, and we were going to put in a new priming bulb. Well, when I was putting it all back together, I was putting the carburetor back on, and there was a piece, a little plastic piece, that had a little crack on it, and I literally just kind of touched it. That's about it, and it just flew off. So I lost it, obviously. So I went ahead and bought a new carburetor for about 20 bucks. And I'm really starting to find that these carburetors, just well buy a new one instead of doing a rebuild kit. Saves you time and money. In the end, $20, I mean, that's not a bad deal considering the stuff you get. So I got the new carburetor, and the first thing you get is an air filter. I guess that's just packing material. I don't believe that's the air filter. You get more hoses. You get the priming bulb, which was really cool because I was going to have to use one that I already had. And you get the carburetor, new gaskets, gas filter, and you also get, which I already took out of the package, an adjustment wrench. Now, I covered all this up and made sure that nothing got into it while waiting for the parts to show up. Now, this is not going to be a hard assembly. What I did, so I didn't get confused on where all the hoses went, I went ahead and left this hose attached so I know where it went. So now I'll grab the new carburetor and we're going to line it up in the same fashion. And I'm going to put that hose on so I don't lose it on this one. Now, this hose goes to the fuel filter. So it goes through the plastic housing into the gas tank, and then you're going to have the fuel filter hanging off the other side of it. So that is, when you push the priming bulb, you're going to see fuel get sucked up into this. It's going to come out the other side of the carburetor, go through the priming bulb, and then discharge through this hose back into the tank. So then we're going to hook up the throttle assembly. I think the best thing to do is take the wire off so we can get it on to the okay, that works. The new carburetor does not have that plastic. They made it all metal. Put the choke arm on now. Now I'm going to put the nuts on, but I am not going to tighten them down. That way, if I need to remove it or slightly get it out of the way or make slight adjustments, I can do that. Now we're going to install the priming bulb now. Now with the priming bulb, remember, this hose is discharge. And we got a hose here that we're going to have to install that is the suction. So this may look gross, but this is about the best way I can figure out how to do it. There's two nozzles, and you got to figure out which one's the suction and which one's the discharge. So I just stick my tongue on it, and the small one is the suction. So we're going to cut the hose, and I like giving myself enough that I can work. So I give myself a little extra. We'll cut the hose and we'll install the hose. I know you can't see. I'm putting it on the big one because what we're working with now is the discharge. We got to discharge it into the tank. So I'm going to grab a pair of needle nose and we're going to slide that on a little bit better. Okay, now we have to hook up a hose to the carburetor. And then this one. And so now we're going to cut the hose and we're going to put this one on the small one. And now there's just two little clips, you snap it in. So before I get going too far on this, I'm going to put a little bit of gasoline in it to see if that will suck and circulate through the system. Yes, I don't know if you can see it, but you again may just have to trust me that we are circulating. There is gas in the bulb. You might be able to see the gas in the bulb. So it is going the correct direction. Fantastic. Now, one of the things I had to do to make this work was I had to remove the engine or unbolt the engine from the housing, so I could lift it up enough to get the carburetor in there. So now we'll tighten up the carburetor. Put in that new air filter. starting this. Okay, it seems to be running pretty good. So I'm gonna go down there, we're gonna cut a log, see how it does. Well, it seems good as new. I'm pretty impressed. So, if you'll click this up next box to take that video where I was disassembling this, so hope I can inspire you to solve your problems when you're living your dreams. Thanks for watching.